Hello YouTube. This is the case, a well-known case, about the snow woman of the territory of the former Russian Empire. This snow woman, who later received the name Zana from the local people, she was caught in the 19th century in western Georgia. And the old-timers said that Zana's, which was her name, her skin was dark gray or black and covered with reddish hairs. Moreover, the hair on the head of the snow woman, or Yeti, was longer than on the body. Her face was large, distinguished by a protruding jaw and powerful brow arches. Teeth were shining white. However, eyewitnesses described the facial expressions as ferocious. Zana never managed to learn speech, although she spent a long time among humans. The captive Zana was passed from one master to another several times until she ended up in the estate of the nobleman Edgi Genaba in the village of Thin, which is almost 80 kilometers from Sukhumi. At first, Genaba, out of fear that powerful snow woman would escape, ordered her to be kept in a pen built of a long log stuck into the ground like a stockade. Zana's food was lowered to her on a rope. Gradually, she got used to her position and she was moved to a shed near the house. Nevertheless, even then, the owner or master ordered not to let Zana off the leash. However, later the nobleman relented and untied the captive. Interestingly, after that, the woman did not rush to escape anywhere. She walked free wherever she pleased, but she never went far from the estate at all. In the yard, Zana dug a hole for herself, in which she lived all year round. The pit of the snow woman was visited not only by local children who wanted to tease her, but also by adult men who sought to know intimacy with an exotic captive. Zana rarely refused anyone, so it is not surprising that during her stay at the Edgi Genaba estate, she gave birth to 4 children, 2 girls, Kojanar and Gamasa, and 2 boys, Yonda and Hvita. All of them were brought up by villagers so they could talk. However, the sons and daughters of the snow woman still differed from others in their unusual appearance. In order to assess whether this was really the case, her distinctive features and difference of her children from the others, the scientists exhumed the corpses of Zana and her son She-Yetti, who died in 1954. They searched for the graves for a long time. Soviet historian Boris Porshnev, who showed great interest in the story of Zana, could not find the burial place. However, in 1975, another researcher, a well-known cryptozoologist in the Soviet Union, Igor Burtsev, managed to do this. Burtsev was not sure that he had found the remains of the snow woman, but with the help of anthropologists, he determined that the extracted skull belonged to an elderly woman and had pronounced equatorial features, a wide nose, flattened nasal bones, a wide interocular, as it was described, space, a convex forehead, cheekbones turned forward, etc. In other words, Burtsev, along with his comrades, suggested that Zana was not a snow woman at all, but an ordinary black woman. Perhaps she came to the Caucasus area as a slave, and then the popular rumor, made her be a snow woman. By the way, there are communities of black people in the Caucasus mountains area, descendants of shipwreck survivors and of slaves who were forcibly brought to the area. I actually saw some in Abkhazia when I visited Soviet Georgia in the 1970s. However, this hypothesis does not explain why Zana's body was covered with hair and for what reason she never learned the human language. Meanwhile, the name was given to the snow woman by the Abkhazians precisely because of the dark skin. The word Zana is similar to Georgian Zangi, dark-skinned, referring to native of Africa. By all indications, the skull of Zana's son, Hwit, which was also lucky enough to be discovered by scientists, belonged to the genus Homo sapiens. The brow of Hwit did not have the appearance of a roller characteristics of Neanderthals, but the so-called supraglacial triangle, which is one of the features of Homo sapiens, and it turned out to be perfectly pronounced. However, the above-mentioned brow was still large, which can only indicate that the person had outstanding external data. Meanwhile, Boris Porshnev, who wrote the documentary book The Struggle for the Troglodyte, managed to meet with the living descendants of Zana. So in 1964 he visited two granddaughters of the snow woman, Chalikwa and Taya. The women, like their grandmother, had dark skin of the type of people that inhabit Africa. They had very powerful jaws and extremely developed chewing muscles, according to Soviet scientists. Zana's children and grandchildren were distinguished by incredible physical strength and endurance. It is known that Zana herself not only lived in the estate of a noble Abkhazian, but also helped with the housework. In particular, she carried heavy bags. But she was afraid of the master, so to say, of the treatment and so forth, and she obeyed whatever he ordered her to do. Anyway, if we take into the account the fact that Porshnev found Zana's grandchildren, it is possible that her descendants still live in some part of the Caucasus Mountains. It's a very interesting area. I mean, the Romans were in the Caucasus Mountains too, quite fascinated, I think, with what they were finding there, and local religions and customs and so forth. I have had a number of videos about paranormal phenomena in the Caucasus Mountains, basically from Armenia to Georgia to Chechnya, and I urge you to look at them. If you like my videos, and if you can support this channel, please do so. You'll find descriptions, links in the description to this channel, and please tell others. Thank you.